Welcome back to this special show where we are tracking the full story behind the 2G controversy. We left off with Pramod Mahajan's tenure as Telecom Minister. Let's tell you what happened next. Vajpayee now brings in Arun Shourie. The government's biggest worry is, despite endless SOPs and cheap spectrum, companies are still keeping call rates very high. This keeps mobile phones out of the hands of ordinary Indians. So Shourie decides to bring in new competition. The NDA's National Telecom Policy of 1999 clearly says telecom companies are free to use whatever technology they want, GSM or CDMA. But effective lobbying from GSM players like Airtel and BPL has led the government to limit operators like Reliance and the Tatas that use America's CDMA technology into offering just limited mobility services. Remember these phones. Many believe this was because CDMA was owned by one American corporation, Qualcomm, while GSM was run by a consortium of European players. The Europeans are believed to have used their diplomatic clout in New Delhi to undermine CDMA. That and Qualcomm raising its royalties hit the CDMA industry. To keep up with fast-changing technology, Shourie now works to give both GSM and CDMA equal treatment, something the GSM players still haven't forgiven him for.
He inherited a total mess, and he said the only way out of this mess is to look at the future, and he introduced what is called the UASL, the Unified Access Service Licenses.
Which was a patch-up job, which was essentially to create an access service license which would apply to fixed line and mobile services.
And anyone who gets such a license can offer any telecom service he wants, whether it is basic telephony, satellite telephony, cellular phones, internet, broadband, anything.
It then allowed for more players to enter that the mobile business, including Reliance and Tatas, etc. The settlement was that the new entrants would pay the fee equivalent to what the fourth licensees had paid just a few year ago.
CDMA operators now get to offer full mobile services, but they get only half the spectrum of GSM players, 2.5 MHz versus the 4.4 MHz bundled with their license fee. This doesn't stop them from revolutionizing telecom in India. Reliance Communications, then headed by Mukesh Ambani, uses the greater efficiency of CDMA to cut call rates by more than half to 1 rupee per minute. Reliance also brings in affordable handsets from South Korea that cost just 1500 rupees, 1/10 of a Nokia handset. The revolution of putting cell phones in the hands of India's working class, our drivers, dhobis and dhandewalas has begun. The NDA government makes spread of telecom a centerpiece in its India Shining message. All the hype leads everyone to overlook some vital problems.
See, what happened in the 1999 new telecom policy is that when the government said we will allow the operators to move from the fixed fee to a revenue sharing regime, they said, look, we have bailed you out, but you have to give us certain concessions. You have been indulging in price fixing as a duopoly. We want to break that your cartel of your price fixing because there are only two operators in each state. So we'll bring in MTNL and BSNL as a third operator, and we'll also bring in a fourth operator. And this fourth operator amount will be auctioned. And that realized that the price of the fourth cellular operator for a pan-India license was 1,651 crores in 2001. Now that figure has become stuck in people's mind because that all subsequent government policy decisions from 2001 onwards have been based on the price discovered in the auction in 2001.
Since then, the use of first come, first served was brought in.
And in its own wisdom and probably connivance of both government as well as commercial players, these licenses were given out during the period 2003 to 2007. on what was claimed to be first come first served basis. In other words, the government just used the 2001 prices and kept giving out these licenses.
In 2005, when the Congress-led UPA comes to power, it continues the NDA's practices. The DMK's Dayanidhi Maran is now Telecom Minister. Today, the Justice Shivraj Patil report accuses him of delaying the license of Dishnet Wireless, now Aircel. Maran also gets the dubious credit of giving away more free spectrum to companies than any of his predecessors, 38.8 MHz, most of it to GSM operators. The Supreme Court always criticized the first-come, first-served approach, but no one could have predicted how the BJP, who put it in place, could end up accusing Maran's successor, A. Raja, of abusing it. A Dalit leader in the DMK, Raja, comes to the Telecom Ministry in 2007 after Maran has a falling out with the DMK. The untested Raja faces three main challenges. The country now has 234 million cell phone users, but still only a handful of telecom companies. And the top few are functioning pretty much as a cartel. Call rates, while falling, are still relatively high, with telecom companies enjoying 40 to 50% operating profits. Raja prepares to bring in new players. Reliance and the Tatas also enter the fray as they insist their licenses allow them to offer GSM services. Raja agrees and prepares to issue new GSM licenses, including to Reliance, now run by Anil Ambani, and the Tatas. The old GSM operators are incensed. Suddenly, the media is flush with stories that insist the cost of 2G licenses, which has remained static at 1,651 crores since 2001, should be revised. The Prime Minister also suggests this to Raja, but Raja tells the PM that the call to suddenly raise license fees is a ploy by the GSM lobby to make life difficult for their new competitors. Raja says the last 2G licenses must be sold at the same rate and terms as all previous 2G licenses. But he agrees that for 3G licenses, the government can start with a clean slate and revert to auctions. This also angers many telecom companies. Airtel Sunil Mittal says 3G spectrum should come free to 2G operators. When Ratan Tata differs, saying spectrum was a national resource and should be paid for, Mittal shoots back, saying if Mr. Ratan Tata has a lot of money, then he can contribute it to the Prime Minister's Relief Fund. And this brings us to where we are today, with the CBI prosecuting the case against A. Raja. In 2008, when 9 new players enter the industry on the old first-come, first-served basis, there are cries that Raja favoured some, mainly Swan Telecom. He even orders state-owned BSNL to share its entire network with Swan, an unprecedented move.
Well, certainly, Swan Telecom was issued its license in January 2008, and then all companies have to meet certain rollout obligations, or they have to pay heavy penalties, and the license can be cancelled. Now, what Raja is supposed to have done is that since Swan Telecom did not roll out its network, he could not implement a network, he actually pressurized the state-owned BSNL to lease its network to Swan Telecom.
Raja is also accused of changing the way the first-come, first-served policy operates, to give companies with insider information the chance to snap up the new licenses.
Now, I think what you have to distinguish is the policy and the fact that certain people knew that he was going to change the kind of interpretation of first come, first served, and that companies which knew that he was going to change the interpretation of first come, first served from the date of putting in your paperwork to the date of actually putting in your bank draft were able to benefit from this.
Later in 2010, when 3G licenses are auctioned for 9,000 crores, an argument emerges that 2G licenses should also have been sold at the same price.
I don't think that some of the figures and some of the reasoning that TRAI and the Controller and Auditor General have been doing are really valid. Because worldwide 3G is a premium service, and it has its prices from 5 to 25 times that of 2G.
The strategically timed leaks of the Neera Radia tapes further muddy the waters. The tapes reveal little on telecom, other than who the Tatas prefer as telecom minister over their old nemesis Maran. But the tapes' shock value and a newly invigorated BJP forced the government to investigate the entire telecom industry. Numerous cases are also filed in the Supreme Court on the same issue. In 2011, the Justice Shivraj Patil report reveals in detail all the malpractices that have plagued the telecom industry since 2001. The CAG also says the poor policy cost the Exchequer a presumptive loss of up to 1.76 lakh crore rupees between 2003 and 2008, 74,000 crore between 2001 and 2008, and 1 lakh crore in 2008. The CAG's figure is hotly disputed. Its methodology is clearly questionable. But the point remains that from 1999 to now, the nation seems to have incurred huge losses from clumsy, corrupt and compromised telecom policies. In fact, the total cost to the Exchequer from the corruption and clumsiness in spectrum allocation since 1999 could well add up to a whopping 5.2 lakh crores.
Too huge to comprehend? Let's put that figure into perspective.
It's 10 times India's health budget and almost twice India's total external debt. Here's how the math adds up. 1.5 lakh crore lost in 1999 in cancelled spectrum payments under the NDA. 74,000 crore lost between 2001 and 2008 as telecom ministers Pramod Mahajan, Arun Shourie and Dayanadi Maran give away vast amounts of free spectrum. 1.02 lakh crore lost in 2008 from A. Raja's underselling of 9 2G licenses. And potentially 2 lakh crore in opportunity loss from ISRO spectrum deal with Devas, a company of dubious ownership, a deal from which the space agency is desperately trying to wriggle its way out of. The CBI's criminal investigations against A. Raja are already spreading to more telecom ministers, officials and companies, with the arrest of Swan Telecom chief Shahid Balwa. The Unitech MD called in for questioning. The Reliance Communications top boss Anil Lambani having to explain his dealings with the controversial Swan Telecom. As the net widens, the 2G explosion enveloping the top honchos of the telecom world.
Well, it's very difficult to say whether other people will be arrested, but I think in the light of what the Supreme Court has held a couple of days ago, that any beneficiary must be probed, I would not be surprised if more people are probed and in some cases arrested.
With big money and big reputation at stake, a war of words has broken out between the big players. Reliance Communications head honcho Anil Lambani accusing what he calls the old 2G players of causing staggering losses to the state. Bharti's Sunil Mittal retorting to this, saying zip up and let the various investigative agencies do their job.
We have mismanaged spectrum all the way since 2001, and several arbitrary decisions which favor different people at different times have now suddenly come under scrutiny. And it's not surprising that when players are under pressure, that there is a slanging match that has begun, and there is an element of holier than thou that is crept into the whole business.
The new man in the hot seat, Kapil Sibal, promises a new national telecom policy in 2011 that will sell spectrum at market rates, take back excess spectrum held by companies such as Airtel, Vodafone and BSNL, or make them pay for it at market rates and create a level playing field between companies. So where do we go from here?
Is that the spectrum is a national resource. The spectrum belongs to the people and not to the government. The government does not own the spectrum. The government can pass regulations.
The real problem in India's telecom sector is management of spectrum, because everything else the market takes care of.
Is that the government should set up an independent statutory constitutional authority like the Election Commission of India to regulate the use of spectrum.
But in India we have no option but to auction it, because that is the only way of allocating it fairly. And because auctions are used to allocate it, they also end up then determining the price.
But whether this will allow a frenzied political system or a fractured telecom industry to move on is anyone's guess. Well, that's it from this special with me, Rishabh Gulati, but keep watching NewsX for all the latest coverage on the megahertz and the megabucks. Goodbye for now.
News.